morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. In today's 50 minutes or so discussion, I would like to essentially clarify this important, probably troubling or puzzling aspect in your minds about idea generation. I keep getting messages that ideas are not there, ideas are being worked on. Can you please explain this or that? Is this idea better? So all of these questions. And sometimes I also get emails saying that please describe all that you know about ideas. So obviously it is not an easy thing to write everything about. So therefore I thought it would be good to have a class on this. So to make this more easier or better, I took 4 or 5 different ideas that came from a previous cohort of this course, that is a 2024 cohort. There were many ideas, there were 20 or so ideas. I'm not going to go through all of them, but they are all available for you in case you wish to know. And their recordings are available, their videos are available. So in case you wish to know more about it, this can certainly be consulted. Nevertheless, it is important to emphasize on one point that ideas are not difficult. What is difficult is to observe, keenly observe any given societal issue. From that, an idea is born, and you will soon see what I am referring to. So if you have that in you, if you are observing something keenly, you will certainly see gaps in understanding, which will eventually translate to an opportunity for you. Then comes the rest of the issues, whether this idea or this opportunity is worthy, this opportunity is rewarding financially, do you have material resources for it, do you have intellectual capacity for it, can it be accomplished in a time scale? So all of those are related, or probably it will require more time. But for this course, we are essentially looking at an idea and building upon that idea. This idea need not necessarily be the next Google, but it's an idea. It is worthy, and that's all this is. It is being evaluated at this point in time. So having said this, there were 2 students who wanted to present their ideas in the last class. So I'm going to ask them to make their presentations. One is a student in the class, another is one who is online, also a person whose batchmate or teammate is also here in the class. So Remia, please call out the first idea person. Please speak for 2 minutes and then we can discuss this further.
Can I go ahead, Ramya ma'am? Parthasarathy
Yes, please. Proceed.
Sir, thank you, Professor sir. Parthasarathy here. I'm MPTL participant. I think some of our team members might be in the class. We are our team name is Deep Spark. So let me start with the whole motivation for this. The problem we are trying to address is in North India, especially in the borders. So we have this locust problems in agriculture. So locusts are this insects are kind of pests that can during seasonal changes that includes the farms, and it destroys a lot of crops. That is a very big problem. That is point number 1. The second point is, of course, in the Haryana, Punjab, and in the North Indian border, you have the stubble burning problem. So all this rice, wheat, paddies produce a lot of waste, and people burn it, and the air quality and atmosphere, a lot of challenges are there. So we are thinking, how do we kind of leverage the output of one, which can go as an input to another. So the idea here is to kind of look at what kind of bioproducts say can be produced from say stubble burning, that can go as an input, more like a non-chemical or non-toxic kind of a substance that can actually fix the locust burning problem. So this is at an abstract level. So the way we are trying to do is, say for example, so we went through Ministry of Agriculture website first to understand what is this. There is a very detailed file. I would, yeah. I think just a second. Yeah, is my voice? Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. So there is a very detailed FAQ given in the Ministry of Agriculture website when it comes to understanding the locust problem and what are the various solutions tried. So we went through those FAQ and we understood that most of the solutions tried are more like a chemical or insecticides or pesticides.
Can
those
you
kind of
concisely
solutions.
present the problem? Okay.
Yeah.
Just another minute. Yes.
Sure. Okay. So the idea here is to create swarms of robots that can have a gaseous payload, more like we would derive the payload from stubble. Biochar is more like a substance, and using
Biochar.
pyrolysis.
Biochar.
Yeah, biochar. And that would from that we would intend to derive a gaseous like substance which is non-toxic and which can actually influence the olfactory of the locust and potentially can actually make the locust to run away. And this would be delivered through a swarm of robots. So that's at the high level.
Thank you. Plenty, some amount of work is happening in this space in Indian institutions where people are releasing pheromones to control all kinds of insects in diverse fields. You are talking about a specific few molecules, a molecule, many molecules released by a robot, but it can also be released by materials, and such activities are going on with a person whom I know very well at an institution called Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Scientific Research in JNCASR, Bangalore. So this is pheromone release robotics or any such thing. This is a worthy proposal. But please look at the right kind of pheromone, whether it is available at the right cost and whether it can be synthetically produced. And so all of these are interesting questions. Pheromone research is not something that has advanced tremendously. There's a lot of possibility in that. Good industrial foundation, chemical foundation, industrial foundation is required. This can be detected, this can be calibrated, it can be measured, it can be delivered. So all of these are possible. So thank you. I'll take the next one. So very nice point. I gave you a lead, and there are other people who are working in this area. And they have already gotten industrial funding. By the way, this product is already in the market.
Yes. Next is Abhishek Priyan.
Next is Abhishek Priyan.
Hello, sir. I am Abhishek. So the problem that we as a team are trying to solve is very simple.
Yeah.
So
look at his face. Okay. Yes. Right.
So the problem that we as a team are trying to solve is very simple. Like blind people, when they need to cross roads or navigate through their surroundings, they either use sticks or they have specially trained dogs called guard dogs that do it for them. But the problem is training these dogs is very difficult. And then the error margin is pretty high and the stakes are high. So what we decided is that we can try to solve this problem using automation and robotics. So we will have a very simple machine that the blind people, they can hold on to just a rod, just like how they hold on to their dog's leash. And what will happen is that the robot will have a simple camera in the front that can that will look at the surroundings and use simple path planning algorithms to navigate to plot a very viable terrain for people to travel in. So we believe that this is a cheaper thing than actually training dogs. So dogs are, as living things, will have a lot of maintenance and upkeep, and this will simplify that, and it will we believe it will be a viable solution to the problem.
Very nice. But are you aware of what is going on in the world? Okay. So this is something that is going on in several places. I myself have seen people using it. But there must be a lot of Indian relevance. For example, let's say auto rickshaw, right? We are using auto rickshaw. Auto rickshaw is something unique to this part of the world. But we also have paddy fields, right? Paddy fields have narrow separations between the fields, and the maximum separation you get is 3 feet. So can you have an auto rickshaw under 3 feet? And it's an Indian problem. Similarly, you have a lot of India specific problems, especially this very same blind person could be in a village. Now there is no tower, there's no connectivity. So what do you do? So I'm thinking of some specific locally relevant issues to overcome this larger issue that somebody may have done something, but can you do something better? That would add greater value to your thing. Thank you. So I'll move on now to the remaining some topics that I wanted to cover. Well, what I wanted to illustrate is also evident in the problems they posed by the previous 2 students. So here is something that students presented. So this is erosion control mats. A team suggested this. So erosion control mats are mats which are used for erosion control in cities, at the same time empowering villages. So villages make mats and cities use them to protect their land. So what is this? These are what are called geofibers. Now if you look at this, you must have seen this in different parts of the world. So these are mats that you see. These are mats. These are put on hills or wherever there is land erosion is there. And that is how land erosion is controlled. So we can have land erosion controlled. In our country, landscapes of this kind are not common. You don't really protect the sidewalks with growth, with organic growth. You may want to protect them with something of this kind, and there is a business model connected to this, how coir or coir pith or any such material is sourced or jute, and how this can be converted to geo fibers, and how that can be used to protect landscape, how this can help in countries, Eastern Asian regions, and there is a business model how to enter into that market, what are the benefits, how can you monetize this, how can you assess the extent of erosion. So this is essentially that theme. I said erosion control mats. Now, there are many things that you can think about it. For example, this erosion control mats themselves can supply seeds, and you can probably use it to protect the soil better. As you know, pencil supplying seeds is something that has happened. Wildlife conservation is something that is that's integrated into school education by this activity. Ramya, please close this door. Okay, so there are many different aspects to this. So somebody comes with this idea. This is purely naked. So this is a sustainable bottle revolution. It's put in some kind of a camouflage title. Okay, so idea is PLA polylactic acid is a biodegradable polymer. So now polylactic acid based bottles that you have with printing done by 3D printing method, laser engraving, essentially removing all the plastics put on it. Because currently there is a plastic label is a serious problem in all recycling industry. There is a separate unit operation that has to be done to remove the label and then to recycle. So this polylactic acid engraving methodology essentially makes the entire bottle to go for recycling without an additional step. Now, polylactic acid can be sourced locally, and this is very much available and is bio-friendly, and all that is the rest of and how do you take that from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3, which involves original market research finally to put it into a product and implement it, and there are team members involved. So this was an international team. One person came from Israel, some industry and some local classroom, 2 students. So that's how the team was. The third is an idea which is CARI. This is essentially personal or personalized cooling module based insulin storage solution. So everyone has this problem that if you have type 1 diabetes, you need to carry insulin, and insulin cannot be carried all the time because it is sensitive to temperature fluctuation. So can you have some device like this, which is essentially controlling the temperature, and that allows you your pain of your extreme anxiety to care for yourself is gone. Now the device takes care of it. You don't have to worry about whether you're walking in the sun, Chennai or Delhi. So you can have all your, just as women's menstruation pads have liberated women, similarly this could probably liberate type 1 diabetes patients. That's the idea. So you have a device which is keeping the insulin within this temperature window, a small module which is energy efficient. That's all this is about. And then there is a business mechanism, whether is it possible to look at a business proposal not only in India but also in different parts of the world. What is the type 1 patients population, diabetes persons population, what are the other kinds of business possibilities with such a device. Many other kinds of medicines could be transported this way. So that's essentially the problem of this individual Lisa is taken care of. Yeah, so that's all part of that thing. It's about 2,000 rupees one should be in a position to do, but this is probably not possible today at that kind of a cost. And if that is available at that cost, yeah, but that is your perception, right? Because somebody else has a different perception about it, huh? Right. So there's always a market for anything, right? Water you can supply, water purifiers. I know people who are buying water purifiers at 3 lakh rupees per unit instead of 10,000 rupees. Okay, right? Okay. So this personalized, cooling devices or cooling machines, these can be much better than this kind of devices that you may have, or visiting a doctor or whatever. Now this is a team. Okay, the idea 4 is growing the future one cell at a time. So this is a company called, or organization thought about as AgriCell. The idea is there's a lot of chemicals used, water used, and CO2 release in creating or having cotton. And you must have studied this. Cotton costs so much of money, so much of water. But then real cotton cost is just about less than 100 rupees a kilogram. But really, 1 kilogram of cotton costs more than 7,000 liters of water. So what do? You take one cell at a time. You grow cotton in the laboratory. And this kind of an approach of growing cotton or any agricultural produce is actually industry today. People are making cheese, for example, proteins. So all this is being done. So why not cotton is the idea. So there is a business proposal that is talked about. So it's essentially to say lab-grown cotton. I mentioned to you some time ago, lab-grown meat, for example. So this is that idea. There is a revenue model for it, and it of course contributes to sustainability. Several key objectives on this, and that is that. The last is bottle of life. So a new kind of water bottle. What is a new water bottle? Well, water bottles in general produce a lot of waste. 1 liter of water produces, let's say, 50 grams of plastic. Water bottle is about 50 grams or whatever grams of plastic. So this is a serious problem. In fact, it is one of the said to be the largest environmental issues that you may have. Okay. So now, so this is nothing but a MITI bottle. So this bottle, then they say, well, you put many ingredients to it. You have sensors to it. You have detectors to it. You have cooling modules to it. You have, as I said, some sensors to it. And it is a double layer container. Today, MITI cannot be made into transparent thing, but it is certainly possible that it can be aesthetically made. So it can be, you can use the water quality can be measured by analytics with embedded sensors. So all this is possible today. So that's essentially to say, be locally relevant, at the same time technologically advanced. So there is some market analysis for it. This is a business model canvas that they prepared in this context, and there are people who are associated with this. So when you look at these 5 different ideas and the 2 ideas that were presented before, the key thing that comes, so if you look at the insulin bottle, is nothing but how can I use available technology to solve my problem. Just some thermoelectrics is used to get your temperature to 8 degrees or 15 degrees. So it's current thermoelectrics give you a temperature lower than 15 degrees from the ambient. So 30 degrees, it will make it to 50 degrees, great. So is it, and it's affordable. So can you think about a design to store just about a few ml of your liquid that is needed? Great, it is very much possible. Cotton. So it's a technology that is already there. You implement it in the context of cotton. So all that is required is to sort of identify that tiny gap. Now, if you start looking at the geofibers, the geofiber was nothing but an idea that geofiber is very much there. A gap that is there is all that is filled in this context. The water bottle is similar. So all of these are nothing but identifying a gap. Now the question is, can you identify a gap around you? So I had mentioned to you some time ago in one of the lectures that a person came up with calcium carbonate paper. So people write on paper, cellulose. Cellulose, of course, destroys forests, and that's how cellulose can. Peppers, of course, a notebook has destroyed a plant or whatever. So what's the best way? Best way is probably to utilize CO2 instead of producing CO2, destroying CO2 or confining CO2. The best way nature knows how to store CO2 is in the form of calcium carbonate, and that is what is there as seashells. So now somebody has come up with seashell based paper. So calcium carbonate is ground well and with a tiny amount of additives, it is cast in the form of paper, and today you can buy it. It's calcium carbonate paper. But of course, it involves writing or making a new kind of pen which can write well, can even better improve this particular paper so that any normal pen can write on that. Of course, this is what is the paper that is available today in the market. Now, it's identifying a given problem and solving that. So I'll stop here because we have taken about 30 minutes or 25 minutes. The remaining 25 minutes, I would like to have some discussion as to when you identify a small gap out there, it is possible to identify or create a research theme or a business idea. Now, the rest of the issues related to practicality of it, this can be discussed in the course of time. Now, many of these ideas that we today hear about, we talk about, they are all ideas which are thought to be as fantastic ideas. They were not thought to be solvable ideas or solvable problems. Today, a few years ago, somebody came to me asking this question, Professor, it is so great that NMR has changed the world. So everybody goes for NMR imaging. This is common. Magnetic resonance has changed the way that we look at diseases. But it is not possible for everyone in this country to access a magnetic resonance machine. It's expensive. Can you supply an MRI machine under 1 crore? So this person is one of the richest people or persons of our country. So he says, if this is there, I could probably support it for every taluk hospital. Now, this is probably possible, requires some investment, deferred. An idea of this kind, which is nothing but MRI for every taluk hospital, is affordable MRI, so to say. It, of course, ignites ideas, such just as what was talked about, putting a man in the moon in 10 years. It ignited people to build many ideas. So the thought is probably more important, but that thought is there outside, just look at it. We are not looking at the feasibility of that thought today. So I'll take questions now. If you have an idea, if you have noticed something, can we build some new thing around it? In case you have a thought, please share it. Let's discuss this. Now, okay, ideas that you may have. Many people think that my idea, when it is spoken, that idea is lost, you see. So that's a completely foolish thought, because ideas that are coming to you, these ideas are coming to 100 other people at the same time. And if you have the capacity to create ideas, you have capacity to create more ideas. Again, I have been telling you, please do not come after some time. This is not a good idea to come into the classroom. But we will take ideas.
Anyone in class, please raise your hand. Okay.
Please introduce yourself, name, and then camera, please. Huh?
Yeah. Hello, sir. I'm Rohit Subramanya. Our team is working upon the idea of hydrogel-based agriculture. So, as we now see, as per this latest statistics, we find that each and every year, more and more agricultural land is becoming not unusable for agriculture or is converted into infrastructure. This, in the long run, might cause a lot of famine
Sure.
and food shortage. And
Yes.
along with that, all the agricultural workers who have been working in this field for a long time have been either abandoning this field or converting into urban areas. So, as per the statistics given by the UN, we found that by 2030, 50% of the world's population will be in cities. So, to tackle this food shortage and to make sure, also while making sure that we could cultivate crops and necessary vegetables in urban areas and cut down cost of logistics, we created an idea of hydrogel based agriculture,
Sure.
where we use hydrogels as the base for the plant instead of the soil. In this, hydrogels, you see, have a capacity of holding 20 times of their own weight. They're capable of holding liquid water 20 times their own weight. So using this idea, we decided to use vertical agriculture in cities.
Sure.
So that's
What is the question?
Our question is, how do we tackle food shortage while also
Thank you.
reducing upon logistics cost?
Thank you. All I wanted to say is that we had similar ideas before, and there are companies before, and there is a very distinguished person who is also a distinguished professor of IIT Madras who does this activity, so therefore it is good to consult so that something new can be done. So the idea that was introduced by him was to reclaim land in Rajasthan using such hydrogels to essentially capture those arid regions, recapture. Now, this has gone on very well, but today's fantastic gels can capture more than 1,000 times their weight. Okay, 1,000 times water than their weight. So lots of interesting things have come. That's good to know. Thank you.
Anyone
So
in
you don't
class?
have to talk about your ideas. You're talking about, just as I came today, I saw something, right? This is, can this be built into something new? I'm only asking about open ideas. Ramya, there is a big gap in understanding. People are still coming at 5:36. Okay? My class, the entrance gets closed in 5 minutes. If it were to be regular class, I will not allow. Okay, I should say that. So is there any idea? Yes, go ahead. Yes, the microphone. Ramya, microphone please. Please introduce yourself and
Can you raise your hand?
yeah.
Hello, I am Himanshu from Mech24. So the idea I want to present is that we all know that we can make the ethanol from sugarcane. There are papers already
Sure.
published and there are the resources, but nobody had yet tried, or I do not find anybody that doing that. Right? They are making ethanol all by the lab processes or the techniques given in the lab, and they are using that in the mixing in petrol or diesel.
No, plenty of fellows are doing this. We have at least 2 plants running here. I have a friend who is running a plant in Philippines. I have another fellow running a plant in Germany. So plenty.
Using sugarcane.
Sugarcane, yes.
Okay.
So, but anyway, what can you do further and all that are interesting questions, but it is there today. Okay, so this technology is there, and in fact, there is a fantastic Pune-based company owning this technology. Yeah, our cabinet is excited about these. Yeah.
So we want to make innovation and we want to cut down the cost of ethanol.
So
and
if we were to talk about that,
Hmm.
I would say that please think about ethanol. If you want to make it, can you make it from carbon dioxide? This is something that is very much feasible today, although the costs are a little bit higher. And there is a plant running, and there's one of our IIT Madras professors, not in this IIT, another IIT, is running this kind of activities. There are several people across the country, and I can connect you.
Thank you, sir.
Sure. Okay. Behind?
Yeah. Okay.
Sir, I'm Hari Prasad from DI24. So, our team is working on idea about right now what are our mobiles? Basically, they are basically a glass lab having apps. So, suppose imagine if our mobile is our companion who understands us and who organizes our day and who supports us. So, that is what our team is working on.
Mobile as your companion.
Yes.
Okay. So you will give organic functions to it.
Organic functions in the sense?
Meaning mobile will know your touch and your feel and all that.
No.
No. Okay. Just a companion, meaning it is a device, but it will know something about you.
Yeah.
Meaning maybe your temperature and what actually would
Yeah, it
know.
can.
This is okay. Yeah. Many other things are possible, right? Is it not possible? For example, your clothing, the functional clothing today. So I was in a symposium. So this is the symposium Tata's organized once in a while. So this was the symposium for all the CTOs of Tata's. It was in Mumbai, and I was a speaker, and three others were there, one from Yale and one from Cambridge and Oxford or something, right? So these are all different people talking about different ideas. So one such idea, this is about several years ago, one idea was, how do you create a backpack which can help you carry more weight but reduce your fatigue? How can you think about better clothing to enable you to climb hills? So active clothing. You're talking about something which can, this clothing actually can measure parameters about you. Your sweating, your fatigue, your whatever, your sweat rate. Now, is it possible to think about something beyond? Clothing, can it breathe?
Why is that important?
Clothing that can breathe is very important because that will probably control your exposure to temperature outside. So you can think of fibers which can contract or expand, and as a result, you will be better insulated or better cooled. Now, over a period of time, let's say, imagine this clothing. I was talking to people like that. This clothing is sensing you all over your body for about 8 hours. It has complete information about you for 8 hours. And you have a few clothes of this kind, essentially is telling about you to a device which is your companion, something more. So your device along with something else can add greater value to you. So there are different thoughts in this regard. To some extent, you can, these are not invasive, some others are invasive. maybe you may not have heard about ways by which you can capture your DNA without really touching you. Now, why is it important? It's important to have identities of people analyzed in airports, for example. You walk through something and it captures your information. Why is it important? Of course, for the reasons that I told you about security. For sometimes it is important, sometimes it is not important. For certain people it is important, certain others it is not important. So somebody has come up with a device wherein it will take a map, molecular map of you. Molecular map of you. Simplest molecular map could tell you whether you have consumed coffee or not. But another molecular map will tell you whether you have been under a certain medication or not. Certain others will tell you whether you are under certain kind of stimulants. So this is important in sports medicine, for example. So there are many different contexts in which people study these. When it is combined with your personalized companion, it can have far more implications.
Those are the technical specifications we can add later.
Yeah, you can add, certainly many of them can be added. And at the kind of point that you said about at what cost, and all of these are also important, and probably at different levels of products can be there at various levels. Something can be very basic, something can be much more advanced. Yeah. Right.
Anyone else in class?
So the point that is I'm getting from him is that here is a device that I'm carrying with me. What more can I put into it? I'm touching it, I'm holding it. What is that I can get from that? Same is the case that I talked to you some time ago about a pair of sandals. A pair of sandals, can it tell you about the onset of, let us say, a disease? A pen, can it tell you about Alzheimer's? So those are all very interesting thoughts along the similar lines as how do you add personalization to a device that you are using? Okay, if you have something else from the class, other classes?
Nothing from other classes, but from online participants, we have two ideas.
Yes.
Human bias detection device.
Human
Bias.
Hmm.
Or neem leaves generating electricity to charge mobiles.
Yeah. Yeah, very much possible that surface charging, when water flows, this is a phenomenon, triboelectric charging, so that is very much there. But today that has been used in different contexts. Now, I'm not aware of whether it is used for mobile charging, but I know that people have shown this to illuminate LEDs. So in such contexts, but it may have certain utility when water flows or droplets can flow for a longer time, as in the case of a lotus leaf or something. In the case of a neem leaf, it is traveling only for a much shorter time, a distance of about 2 centimeters. How much a charge it can generate? They're all interesting questions. But by the way, there are interesting interesting physics that's happening in an institute. It's called the Max Planck Institute in Germany, on electricity. How can it be controlled, or how electricity can be used to control the flow of liquids on surfaces. Yeah, any other question? Okay, is there anything more here in other classrooms? Okay, so just sit here and for a few minutes. Is it possible to meditate on something, an idea, Say, for example, I'm just giving you some clues. You're sitting, you know that you have the capacity to hear. You have the capacity to hear very, very low noises. Intensities of extremely low intensities can be detected. We are not trained to do that. It is possible to measure, let us say, the presence of a mosquito. We do. But in a classroom, you don't. In collective, together, is it possible that you can probably activate your own senses better? Can some devices help in that? Now, our skin is very much sensitive, extremely sensitive. Is it possible to enhance these? Our own sensory capabilities. Now, why is it important? Many people say that activating these is essentially enhancing your own brain. Now, this has great connections to Indian philosophy and all that. So this is what you do in meditation. So I'm saying that there are several things that you as an individual, if you sit tight, think through, many ideas do come. We are really not, when you say ideas are not there, it's just that you're not thinking enough. So just walk outside, and just as what was said previously about charging, water droplets or neem leaves. Why neem leaves? Huh? Is there a very good leaf or very good surface over which charging happens better? And has it been used by nature? Did insects utilize it better? So I'm saying that this very same question that was asked in this classroom should have prompted you in many different directions. I'm just posing this to you so that more ideas will come. The more you generate ideas, the more successful you will be, at least as far as this particular course is concerned. Yes.
We have one idea from Omkar and his team.
Yes, Omkar.
Swastha is a smart, affordable water safety solution for homes and communities.
Yes.
It uses a simple color changing sticker that detects key hazards like bacteria, heavy metals, pH, and chlorine when dipped in drinking water.
Yes.
Users scan the stick with a smartphone app which instantly interprets the results and provides clear, actionable advice on water safety.
Sure.
Swastha also logs results and can alert neighbors or authorities if unsafe water is detected nearby, helping prevent health risks.
Absolutely.
Designed for ease, reliability, and mass accessibility, Swastha empowers everyone to ensure their water is truly safe.
Very good. Thank you. It's nice to know. There are several advances that are happening in that space as well, and affordable sensors, and not only water, but urine, for example, or blood. All of these are interesting fluids. Accurate, detailed measurements can probably change the world in many different ways. So one thing that people say is sensors is probably the most advancing research. But sensors can be from a very broad perspective, can be from sensors used in aeronautics, or, communication, or whatever, and sensors to this level that we just now talked about in water. So this whole spectrum of sensors. This market for sensors in India is said to be massive, 200,000 crores. So that's the kind of scale at which sensors can be utilized. So the space of water sensors, that's also substantial. So somebody asked me this question. One grand challenge for the world could be take a water bottle without touching the water, indicate the quality outside. Yes. So this would be a great innovation that can probably be worth some large money and can probably change the world in a significant fashion. Every school kid would like to have it. With that, we will close today, and please note this point, that please come on time, otherwise don't come. This is one message, not only here, for any meeting, especially with people who care for these. And this only shows that you're not reading the messages. So it's what it essentially conveys. And the visit is very important to Bangalore or whichever place, because it is people of your age group are building big things. And seeing that will transform you. And if there is an opportunity, please utilize it. And whenever it is possible, please do. See, when you stand at a pedestal, well, several, maybe hundreds of meters away, and PSLV roars, it actually, hairs stand up. And that will change you. So likewise, in every case, seeing is very important. So please utilize that opportunity whenever, if it is possible. And please be on time, please participate. Those are helpful things. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, Professor.